We have had some technical difficulties all evening. It is not my day. It is not my day at all. um, are you guys out there? Is it working? It cut me off for some reason. I don't know. I don't know what's happening in life. I just want to do over. I was in the middle of telling you a story. I don't even know what happened. But we are going to have the next artist call in. And it's Austin Skinner. And I'm going to have him call right now. Oh, boy. First technical difficulties, then my thread doesn't work. Hello, sir.
Howdy.
How are you?
Doing great. How you doing?
I'm rolling with it. We've had some technical difficulties tonight, and the system just cut me off again. So I don't know what's happening. But we're good to go. How are you? How's life? Tell me all the things.
Oh, life is good. We've been working on the record here for the last 6 months, and it's been going great. We've been splitting our time between a studio here in town and a studio in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. And we're really excited about putting this new thing out. It's been a couple of years since we've been able to do it, scheduling and just all sorts of stuff. And man, we're just pumped. We're pumped to get it all out there.
Awesome. And when you say we, who's we?
Oh, I always say we just because the guys in the band we're like a family. I mean, we've been playing together, goodness, since 2013.
Okay.
And we're from all different parts of the country. The drummer Jordan, he's from Topeka, Kansas. Keys player Alex is from Long Island, and bass player Scott is from Rochester, New York, upstate. So we've been playing together for a long time, and actually the bass player and Scott had played together longer than that. So it's very much a collaborative effort. Like we all write together, we all arrange together. It's definitely not a hired gun, type situation. I love my guys, and if I get to play with them until we're old and gray, that's the goal. That's the dream.
That's amazing. And that's rare in Nashville. You don't typically have a band and they stay your band for a long time, and unless you're doing on the big, huge national touring act level.
Yeah, I mean, even then, a lot of famous, we'll keep them nameless, but a lot of famous country artists have let their bands go over the past couple of years, and those guys are having to turn to the Broadway honky tonks to make money, and whatever session work they can pick up. It's definitely a revolving door in the touring world. You're very, very lucky if you get to stay with the same act for more than 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Only a handful of acts that I'm aware of are still using the same bands that they've had since the beginning, or as close to the beginning as you can get.
Okay. Well, I have people that are just tuning in and chatting with me, and they want to know who you are. So tell us who you are, where you're from, give us the gist, of people who are just tuning in and don't know anything about you.
Oh, yeah. Well, my name's Austin Skinner. I live in Nashville, Tennessee, originally from southern Texas, about 90 miles from Mexico, a little area called the King Ranch. You may have seen I think Ford has a King Ranch model truck and SUV. So if you ever see that, that's where I'm from. And I lived in Austin for a while, like most of us do who are from Texas, and played in the Texas country circuit for a while, and then left all that and moved to Nashville in 2009. So I'm approaching my 10-year mark here.
Wow. Did you think you'd ever be there that long?
No, of course not. Whenever you move to town and you get, if you're in the music side of things, I should say, and you start off, you go to these writers' nights, writers' rounds, which, as you know, Katie, I mean, basically people sitting in a circle, and everybody plays a song. You take turns 3 or 4 times, and you learn really quickly that after about a couple of years, a lot of people move away. So the turnover is really, really high. And when I moved here, it was like, well, I've already lived in Austin. Where else is there to go? L.A., New York, those are pretty far away, kind of big for me. And I had a couple of friends who lived here and that were working here. A buddy of mine was with Brad Paisley for a number of years, and he recommended moving here. And a couple of friends of mine were in the Christian inspirational side. They suggested, hey, you should give it a shot. And ultimately, it was a college friend of mine who was moving here, and I said, you know what, let's just do it together, and we'll see what we see, man. And here we are 9 years later. We both still live here. We're both doing our separate things, but we're still buds. And so no, of course not. I did not expect to be here this long. I assumed that I would be back in Texas by now, still playing music, obviously, because this is what I've done my whole life, and this is what I do. But certainly didn't think I'd be in Nashville this long.
So when did you start playing? How old were you?
Oh, gosh. Well, my mom and my dad are both songwriters and guitar players, so that's part of it. But coming up in a household full of music and seeing Mom play old, Judd songs, and Mom was in the Papa songs, and Dad was more in the classic rock side of things, playing, Bad Company and Leonard Skinner and things like that. But for me, I started playing guitar and singing when I was 14, and like most dudes, I can't tell a lie. I started playing to get the attention of a girl in high school. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna play your first song because I got people asking about you that they want to hear it. So give us the intro to this first song, "Give Me Your Love."
Yeah, so "Give Me Your Love" was written. I was in a relationship, and I was really, really eager to tell her I love her, and so that's where this song came from. We recorded this song down in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, at Legendary Fame Studios. Definitely an R&B vibe. So,
all right, here's "Give Me Your Love" by Austin Skinner.
You keep asking me what I wanna say. But if I tell you, babe, what I really think, I don't wanna frighten you, don't wanna let it loose. But I have to tell the truth. Here's the proof of waiting too long. Give me your love. Give me your love. Won't you give it to me, love? Give me your love. That's what I gotta say.
was Give Me Your Love by Austin Skinner. Buddy, that song is like sex. What is going on with that song?
We went down. I'm telling you, we went down to Muscle Shoals to that old studio down there. I think there's a documentary.
There is. Yep, I've been there. It's
Yeah.
it's like walking into heaven in that studio. There's like a vibe. It's amazing.
Yeah, we felt it, and we weren't even planning on necessarily going that deep into the R&B territory, but it just naturally happened, and we were just rolling with it.
Yeah, I love it. All right, so I have some questions for you. Where can we find your music? People are asking, where can we find it?
Oh, it's all on all digital platforms. It's
Okay.
iTunes, it's Spotify, it's Apple Music, Amazon Music. It's all over the place.
And you got new stuff coming 2019.
That's right. Yeah,
Okay.
We are putting out a new record this year called The Bitter and the Sweet, and we'll be doing vinyls for that one, so we're very excited, but it'll also be available on all digital and streaming platforms.
Amazing.
And we hope to put that out. I think we've got a tentative release for the whole thing in May.
Okay,
So.
cool. And you're on Instagram and Twitter and all the social medias, right?
I am on Twitter and
Okay.
Instagram. It's just Austin Skinner squished
Okay.
together like one word.
Okay. All right, so do you want to play the next song or do you want to play a game? What are you in the mood for?
Oh, there's a game? We can play a game.
Okay.
We'll run through the music.
All right, so it's going to be the fastest. I'm going to give you a time limit to answer the most amount of questions as fast as you can. Don't think, just answer.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Okay.
Are you
All right.
prepared for that?
Oh, I'm prepared, dude.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll get 6 seconds, so it's right on the 30 mark. 5, 4, 3, 2. All right. What fictional character would be the most exciting for you to meet in real life?
What fictional character?
Mm-hmm.
Superman.
What's the most ridiculous thing someone has tricked you into doing or believing?
Playing on of course it'd be music related. Playing on the back of not a horse trailer, but a flatbed trailer with like really really janky wood, and as it turns out, I actually broke through a plank of wood on that sucker.
Oh. If you were given a 1-minute ad slot during the Super Bowl, what would you fill it with?
I would fill it with some kind of awareness for treating people with more grace and kindness.
Oh, that's a great answer.
That's so Miss America sounding, isn't it?
It is.
But honestly, I remember I saw a Super Bowl ad, and it was something about. It was one of the first times that a beer commercial told people to be careful, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's just so powerful. And I thought that's the kind of stuff we need more of.
Awesome. All right. Favorite food in Texas?
Oh, in Texas? Come on now. That didn't even be it's barbecue, of course.
Where do you go for it?
Specifically.
What is it?
Oh God, there's so many places. Well, to get brisket, I mean, there's two main places I think of. There's Franklin Barbecue in Austin, Texas, which is world famous. Probably everybody's heard of it. And then there's a little place down in southern Texas where I'm from called Cotton's.
I want to go there. I want to try that. I've been to the Stockyards and to Fort Worth and Dallas, but I've never been to Austin. All right, favorite food in Nashville?
Oh, without a doubt, hot chicken.
Hattie B's or Prince's or 400? Which one? What's your favorite?
I love. You're gonna make me choose. I tell you what, I tend to go to Hattie B's most often because it's the closest.
But 400 degrees is real good.
Yes, 400 degrees is monster.
All right, favorite place to hang out when you're not playing in Texas?
And to hang out in Texas? Goodness gracious. Probably favorite hang in Texas? Well, back in the day, we used to hang at this joint called La Zona Rosa. I'm not even sure if it's there anymore. But nowadays, it'd probably be Antone's in Austin.
Okay, and favorite place to hang when you're not playing in Nashville?
I'd have to say either the Listening Room or Tin Roof down by Music Row.
Oh, great answers. Yes, I love it. I'm a big Red Door fan. It's just
Oh, yeah, Red Door is great. They got a couple locations in town.
Yeah. All right. Who is an artist you didn't think would make it or last as long as they have when you first heard them?
Oh, that's easy. So the answer is, and I mean, obviously there is no insult intended, but many, many years ago when I was playing in Austin, this guy came up to me and he approached me about playing guitar for him. And he gave me his demo. I went home. I listened to it. I didn't care for it. And I didn't like it. And so his contact info was on the CD. Remember, you used to put contact info
your email address, your phone number, all of it. Yes, because if you handed it to someone, it was like your business card.
Yeah, so I called him because, we used to call people. And I called him up and I said, man, I'm really busy. I was trying to be nice and I said, I'm just real busy with my stuff. And I was playing guitar for one other group at the time. And I said, but, if there's anything I can help you with, if you need a fill-in here and there, something like that, I bid him well. And then 4 years later, he won an Academy Award for Best Original Song in a Motion Picture.
Who is it?
And the motion picture was Crazy Heart with Jeff Bridges.
Oh.
And the song was written by Ryan Bingham, and that's who it was.
Dang.
Yeah.
He's part of the Google Us thing going on, isn't he? I'm pretty sure.
He's part of the what now?
The Google Us, it's Ryan Hurd and a whole bunch of other songwriters. I think he's part of them. That's crazy. Wow. Okay. One more of those questions, and then I have another one of them for you. But when you die, what do you want to be remembered for? What is your legacy?
People being able to trust me.
Dang. Wow. Why is that important to you?
Well, I don't know. I feel like when I moved to Nashville, I was inundated with a lot of nice people. I mean, everyone here, for the most part, is nice. It's almost uncool to be not nice. And that presents a certain problem in and of itself, because then you wonder, well, are they being nice or are they being nice? And sometimes it's difficult to tell if someone's just being nice or if they're genuinely trying to form a connection. And just being able to trust that sometimes with folks can be difficult. And so it's like anything in life. You have to learn who your real friends are. And I just hope that the people who believe that they can trust me should know that they can trust me.
I love that. We were talking about when we were playing the song how we met, and I have to give a shout out to Mr. Josh. Oh, I love me some Josh. Y'all were real roommates at the time, right?
When you and I met, he and I were roommates. That's
okay.
Right.
And he was playing for me. We're both from Wisconsin. Y'all, I'm going to have so many artists on here that are from Wisconsin that live in Nashville. I don't know why that's a thing or why we all end up finding each other. But, that's just how it happens. But Josh was playing with me, and we were writing together. And he had asked me to come and meet him at the house. And I remember walking in, and there's this guy, and he's just, hanging out. And he's, this cool, laid-back, long blonde hair. And I'm like, what is this cat doing? And you started playing, and I was so enthralled. And I swear to God, you played for an hour, and I just watched you play. And I remember Josh being it's time to leave.
I don't remember that, but I'll take your word for it.
And then you were playing with Janae. Why can I not think of her name right now? Cherry.
Yeah, Janae Cherry.
Janae Cherry, yes. Now, she has a different last name, but you were playing with her, too. And I went and saw you down at Fiddle and Steel? No, it was on Printer's Alley.
Somewhere down there.
Yeah.
I don't remember where we were at that night.
But I was just blown away about, you just picked up guitar and played it it was nothing. Literally, it was a paperclip. You just so in control of it, and so just how you moved your hand and the sounds that came out. I was just so enthralled and enamored.
This is starting to get a little intense with these descriptions. At the time, I will say, at the time, I was a lot bigger of a guy, so that guitar probably looked like a paperclip.
Oh my
on
God,
me,
that's not at all what I meant.
that's probably where that image came from.
No, you just the way that you manipulated it and played it, and just it's so effortless. It was just incredible. So if anybody ever gets a chance to go to Nashville and see Austin play, please do it, because it's a phenomenon. It's amazing to watch you play. I had seen you play with Kate and Josh this summer, and I love Josh, and it was great to watch Kate, but I just could not stop watching you. All the videos I took were of you, because you're like a virtuoso. Did you go to school for music? Like, how did you get to be so damn good?
Well, again, I got to go back to, if that's the case, I got to give it mostly to my folks who just always made sure. I mean, they love music, and so music was always part of our home. Like, maybe not every single night, but I guarantee 2-3 times a week, Dad would pull a guitar out, and Mom would pull a guitar out, and they would play and sing Judd's songs or whatever. And they got me in on that real early, singing, and we'd go and watch my dad play. He was with a country band back then called the Songwriters, and we would go watch them play. And matter of fact, whenever my sister was born, my dad took a break, and so the guy that filled in for my dad in that band to this day is one of our dear family friends, and one of the reasons I moved to Nashville. So I was just surrounded by tremendous talent that I'll never, ever eclipse, but seeing that instilled some kind of hunger and desire, and that's just been my life since I was 7 years old or younger, probably.
So you came into Nashville at a time where it was just on the precipice of this huge growth and movement of change, buildings going up that had never been there. If you lived in Nashville before like 2009, it's just a totally different place in the last about 7 or 8 years. It's just absolutely crazy, right? Would you not agree? How different it is?
Oh, absolutely. I visited Nashville for the first time in 2006. We went to a concert at the Bridgestone Arena, which I think back then was called the Gaylord Arena.
It was the GEC. That's when I lived there the first time. It was the GEC, yes, Gaylord Entertainment Center.
That's right. And we got out of that concert, and we were only staying one night, so we walked over to Groon's Guitars, which was still on Broadway at the time, but yeah, as far as bars go, I mean, it was something to see. Don't get me wrong, in 2006, but when I moved there in 2010, basically, and then started playing downtown in 2011, it had grown a lot. And then as time went on, I continued to play down there 5-6 nights a week. It grew and grew and grew, and then since I've quit Broadway in October of 2017, it's grown even more. And so you're exactly right. I mean, a lot of people have a lot of feelings about it, but it has definitely grown, no doubt about it.
I mean, when I lived there in 2006, it was, I mean, I'm from a small little town and from the Midwest state, and so I'd never seen anything like it anyways, but it felt small. It felt like a small city. It felt, like you could know people, and it wasn't out of touch or out of reach. And then when I lived there in 2010 and 11, it was very much so different. And then I go pretty much every like 3 or 4 months. And I know that people always say this and it makes me sound old, but I don't even recognize it anymore. Like it feels like Vegas, like it feels foreign. What are your thoughts about it? Do you like to be downtown? Do you go downtown? Do you think that it'll ever just keep growing? Is it going to stop? Is it going to get better? Like, what are your thoughts about it?
Well, for me personally, I don't go downtown anymore, but downtown is not for the locals really anymore. Downtown is for the tourists. It's for the economy, and there is something to be said for that if you can muster it. But I suppose the only tragic thing, the tragic tale for me, is there's a bar or a club that was built in the Vanderbilt area, and they had live music, and it was known to be a pretty cool spot. And it was next to a hotel. A hotel went up, I should say. And
can I guess which one you're going to say?
Noise complaints started to come in, and they shut not only the live music down. Well, they enclosed the live music, or somehow managed to put up sound reinforcement to keep it a little bit quieter for the street level. But then ultimately, the whole club shut down, and that to me is kind of one of the more tragic things I've ever heard. Is how you gonna shut down a live music place in Music City, USA, when that's kind of what you're going there for?
That's the very first place I ever played in Nashville.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, very first place I ever played. Well, it's been.
And you mentioned the Fiddle and the Steel too. I mean that.
Yeah.
That was
my God, broke my heart when that closed.
They bulldozed that and turned it into a hotel, and then Grimey's record shop. Man, they took that down, turned it into a rental car. So there's a lot of things going on that a lot of locals have a right to be upset about, and I consider myself a transplant local, and I'm not a fan of all of it, but you have to have the bigger perspective and the bigger picture and try to make the best of it. And that's just life, man.
Yeah, I agree. Nashville's an amazing town, and it's where I, found my dreams and figured out how to be a singer and how to play, and where I cut my teeth, and I love it. It's just crazy how different in, a short amount of time it can be. And someone who lives there and you played all the time there. So I just wanted to kind of get your perspective of what you thought about it. So if you could be from any state, where would you be from?
Texas, where I'm from.
Okay. I wanted to see that.
Yeah, you can't ask a Texan that, honey.
No, I know. Everybody I've ever known from Texas have always said the same thing, so I get it.
Where would you be from if you could be from any state?
The South. I'm supposed to be from the South. I'm supposed to be raised on sweet tea and chicken and saying I love you to everybody and darling and sweetie. I so am. I am not a Wisconsin person. I hate the cold. I hate the snow. Yeah, something went wonky when I was born. But I love Wisconsin. I love the people that are here, but I'm not supposed to be from here.
I don't know. I kind of liked it. We went up there recently a couple of times over the summer. I'd never been. And I got to say, the views, the wildlife and the views and all that, I've never seen so much green and never had so much cheese in my life.
Yep, we do have a lot of that. And it is beautiful. There's lots of places that are really beautiful to look at and go to and vacation. And absolutely, I'm just totally a Southern girl at heart. So, well, I'm going to let you go if you want to introduce your last song, and we'll play that. Thank you so much for calling in, Austin. I really appreciate it. You want to tell us a little bit about your last song here that we're going to play?
Oh, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. This last song, again, we recorded this down at Muscle Shoals. A little bit less R&B vibe, a little bit more of a rock vibe. It's a sad song. It's not meant to necessarily be all sad. It was inspired by a very dear friend of mine who was struggling at the time with some pretty dark stuff, and I just couldn't get out of my mind, and I started writing, and so this is the song called "I Can't Leave You by Yourself."
I Can't Leave You by Yourself by Austin Skinner.
Grab a hold of your pride. before you fall. Block out the voices that make you feel tall. Just wait for the changes. I promise they'll come. And don't be so hasty. Don't try to run. I can't leave you all by yourself. I can't leave you all by yourself. Though it hurts that I have to this time. Tried all the angels, didn't answer your prayers. It took me some time to find you, but I'm here, there's no need to fear. Just give in to me, my dear. Rest easy, everyone's here. But if you want it easy, easy, well, baby, just let it be dead.
leave you by yourself, Austin Skinner. Oh, that's so good. You guys hear that? Guitar? So good. So good. Thank you so much, Austin, for calling in and being part of the show. Thank you, Amy. Thank you for all you listeners and all the technical difficulties. I had started to tell you about the rest of the story from last week, and I feel like we've talked about so much tonight that I'm going to leave it for next week. And it got cut off and all the things. So I do want to talk about a couple things before we end tonight. I want to tell you that subscribing and liking and following on Google Play and Spotify and Apple Podcasts is really important. Especially for Apple, subscribing and then rating. That's how I get moved up to the top. Well, not the top because there's 8 million podcasts, but that's how you get moved. That's how you get monetization, which is how you get paid. I've made 14 cents so far. But it's also that the more, it's an algorithm, as is everything of social media and technology and internet stuff now. The more there's ratings, subscriptions, likes, all those things, the algorithm moves up, and that gets it out to more people. So the more people that are subscribing and liking it, that means that I'm going to start to move up to the top so that people start getting suggestions or it shows up on their home screen. And that's the stuff that helps monetization and get money and it be really successful. And apparently we have a caller. Hold on. Hello? Okay. They tried to call. I have my phone on silent. We do have a caller, so we'll see if they call back. So make sure that you're going to Spotify and Google Play and Apple Podcasts and subscribing and liking and loving and rating, even if you give me a 2. Something. Give me a something. Also, all the listeners that have listened back on all the platforms, you guys are the best. Here we go. We got a caller. Hello, caller. You're live on the air.
Hello, this is Pico. I looking at radio. I no find you. You're not on real radio. I no find you. I turn up coconut. I do not hear you. But I find you on internet.
Didn't your mama tell you that you're not supposed to call strangers?
No, you're not stranger. You bully.
No, I don't know who you are or why you're calling or why you're harassing me. Aren't you supposed to be in bed?
This is Pico.
How did you call here today, Pico?
I called to say hello, bully.
How did you know how to call us? How did you?
I got 9 boop, 8 boop, many boops. I square, and then you answer phone.
Pico, where do you live right now?
Hello, this is Pico.
Pico, where do you live right now?
I live in Florida.
Florida?
With Mama.
Isn't it past your bedtime?
Yeah. Under a coconut tree.
Oh, my goodness, Pico. I don't even have words for what's happening right now. Pico, I don't want you calling here anymore.
Okay, I talk to you next week then.
Wait,
Goodbye.
I'm not... Pico, your mom is going to be very upset with you.
No, she's in jail. It's okay.
Why did she go to jail, Pico?
I can't talk about it on internet radio. It's too personal.
It's too personal. Oh, Pico, I don't think you should be allowed to listen to this. This is explicit. There's swear words.
I know. I cover ears many times. It's not swearing. It's mostly your voice. Ooh, ooh.
Oh, Pico, my callers are going to be like, what is happening right now on this radio show? We've gone off the rails, people.
I just called to say I talked to you many times. I will talk to you, and I will call very many times when it is not appropriate.
I don't want you to ever call here because I know that you're probably doing something really weird, like touching yourself or naked, or you're running around screaming, showing everybody your boobies, something. Something's happening.
Maybe.
Okay, well, you go back to your coconut under your tree in Florida with your mama while she's in jail, and don't call here again, Pico.
Okay, talk to you next week then, and goodbye to all you listeners. I'm very sorry for what she is doing to you. Goodbye.
Oh my God. This is what happens when you have a live radio show over international airwaves and you give out the phone number. They warned me about this. Next week we have Miss Kayla Hawkins from Nashville by way of Wisconsin. I'm not kidding y'all when I tell you that there's probably, we'd have to do a study, but I would guess 11% of all the people that are transplants into Nashville are from Wisconsin. I promise you. And somehow I found them all. I actually met Kayla before she lived in Nashville. But she's going to be our guest next week, and she's going to come on and talk about her songs, and we're going to play her, and I'm so excited. So make sure that you tune in, and I promise there won't be technical difficulties. So thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it, guys. And I'm going to let you go on about your night, and I'm really sorry about Pico. Yeah, pretty much. Ugh, I hear you, Allison. Damn you, Pico. Breaking boundaries. Breaking boundaries. Yeah. Welcome, y'all.
She's a bomb-ass, ride-or-die, tell-it-like-it-is boss bitch, and you want her on your team. Unless you're playing sports.
She is bold and she is brave.
She looks like the devil and she smells like whiskey.
When Katie Beth sings, you just don't hear the music. She makes you feel it.
She sings from her soul.
She's breakable but strong.
She loves hard. Music is all that matters.
I realize I'm where I'm supposed to be. There's a picture hanging on the wall in Mama's house. Girl, I played her music just a little loud.
Katie Beth, she's the best. Well, she's amazing.
Well, that's it for this week's show. The raw, the real, the uncut, the uncensored, the ever-changing Breakin' Boundaries music. You'll never know what you're going to get. See you next week, y'all.